Let's go, L-E-T-S-G-O, big G, little O, go and go and go. Let's go, L-E-T-S-G-O, big G, little O, go and go and go. I'm going out tonight, and then we start to fight. I wanna stay all night, I wanna stay all night. It's not a bad idea, just let the music play, and we'll forget about it, and we'll forget about it. Hey, hey, yo, yo, I don't wanna go, go, I just wanna dance all night. Hey, hey, yo, yo, I don't wanna go, go, I just wanna dance all night. Take my hand and dance if you can. Take my hand and dance if you can. It's a matter of fact, I wanna shake it like that. Come on, I'm gonna shake it. You're stronger.
Hi, and welcome to this edition of Grit for Glamour. I'm Té Chavez.
And I'm Ashlee Sadler.
And today we're going to teach you how to make a curry dish that kicks ass.
And I'm going to be doing a Bollywood dreams eye.
Get ready.
Get set.
Let's go.
Bollywood Dreams Eyes.
So these are the products that we're going to use today. Actually, disregard those two black brushes. I didn't end up using those at all. So I started out with some Too Faced Shadow Insurance Primer. Just dabbed a little bit on my eyelids. You don't want to go too crazy with the primer. You just need a tiny bit.
And how important do you think primer is?
I think it's super important, especially with a loose pigment like this Bare Minerals pigment that I'm using. It's not going to stick on your eye if you're not using primer.
Oh.
Right now I'm just kind of patting the loose powder in the center of my eye, making sure I go just a little bit above my crease because I do want that color to show.
And notice how you are actually paddling.
Absolutely.
Patting.
Patting, yeah. Not really sweeping.
Not
because,
sweeping.
Yeah, that's just going to make the pigment go everywhere. And this is a orange shade from MAC. I think it's called just Orange. And that's going in. I know, how creative is that, right? Way to go, MAC.
Not even like burnt sienna.
No, nothing like that.
Orange.
Orange. I'm just putting that in the corner, the center and the edge corner of my eye and kind of blending it into the center. Kind of overlapping the gold and making a point at the end too. With this kind of eye, you don't necessarily have to do a point. You could do a rounded edge at the end. I just like the point. I think it's really pretty and kind of more Bollywoody.
Yeah, it also changes the shape of your eye too.
Definitely.
So you can give your eye some different shape.
You also don't have to go as pointy as I do on the inside corner of the eye. Again, it's just a shape thing that I like. So that's what I chose to do. And now I'm adding the red pigment from Anna Sui.
What's it called? Red?
I think it's called like number 500 or something. She doesn't even have names.
She's smart.
They're so,
I mean, it's gonna
so
really
creative.
have a shadow called Orange.
Orange. 500 orange.
500 Orange.
So this is just going on the tips of the points in order to create a kind of like fiery look. Just blending it into the orange pigment. You want to put like just right on the edge. You don't have to go very far with this.
Yeah, it looks like you want a variation of color, not make the red go all over the orange.
Totally. Just kind of evening things up here. Symmetry is really important when it comes to like a kind of cat eye like this. And now I'm curling my lashes. Curling your lashes, it's not a necessity. I like doing it.
I personally don't like doing curling lashes, but I really like that curler you're using.
Yeah, that's a Tarte curler.
By Tarte. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's fantastic.
I may not like using curlers, but that one's a really nice one. What eyeliner are you using?
This is a Stila waterproof liquid black liner.
Oh, it's the Stay All Day?
Yeah, the Stay All Day liner. And I'm just making a quick cat eye, following the bottom edge of my eye and going up in a diagonal direction. You can kind of go as crazy with the cat eye as you want here. It is a Bollywood eye, and go for it. There's no need to be shy when it comes to this wing. And symmetry is really important, like I said, with cat eye and with this eye in general. You want to take your time and make sure that you look the same. You don't want one wonky eye. And then this is the same gold pigment from before. I'm just sweeping it underneath the eye to add a little pop.
That was actually kind of a secondary thought, but it looks really cool.
Yeah.
I think it really makes the eye.
Had I been thinking about it, I probably would have added it when the gold was being added at the beginning, but we kind of...
I think actually it works better if you do it at the end, because of the orange and the red would have...
Oh, kind of like...
Yeah, because you know where you're putting it because of the cat eye.
You're right.
So...
This is a Guerlain Maxi Lash mascara. It's my fave mascara in the universe. Just putting just one coat on my top lashes because we are going to use lashes here, so I don't feel the need to put a ton on. And so we're going to do lashes now. This is Duo Lash Glue, and I'm just running a really thin bead along the band of the lash. You don't need a whole lot of glue.
You don't need a whole lot of glue. This stuff is very malleable.
Yes.
It goes all over the place.
So I'm kind of like waving it around, blowing on the lash in order to make the glue tacky. You don't want it to be super wet when you put it on your eye. It will move around everywhere. You want it to have a little bit of stick.
You don't want it to be super dry too, because then it won't stick.
Right. So I'm just pressing it right up against my natural lash line, using also the liquid liner as a guide as to where to put the lash. And then just kind of moving the lash around as needed in order to get it to where I want it to go.
And then as you were tapping it sort of into the lash line as well.
Yeah, just little movements are all you really need when you're working.
I think the goal is just you want to get it closest to the lash line as possible.
Yeah, totally. And don't be like afraid that there's white on your face. This is where this comes in. The lash glue dries clear, but I always go back with my black liner and just to cover up what I need to cover up.
Liquid liners, gel liners are good for this type of thing.
Absolutely.
Pencils are a little bit more difficult because you have to kind of like wiggle them, and it can mess up the lash until they're completely dry.
Done.
And there it is.
Bollywood Dreams Eye.
Bollywood Dreams Eye.
Yay.
And now it's time for kick-ass curry. So here's what you're going to be needing for this particular recipe: an onion, butternut squash, sweet potato, goodish handful of basil, some chili flakes, some red curry paste, vegetable broth, coconut milk, basmati rice, salt and pepper, and this entire clove or entire bulb of garlic. You're going to start off with the rice first because you really want to have that done by the time the rest of the dish is done, because you want to eat it right away. Yum. Make sure you wash your rice, and by what I mean by washing is you're going to kind of mush it around a little bit. See how the water is cloudy right here? You want to get that as clear as possible before you put it to cook. That's all starch, and it'll make the rice really, really sticky. If you want to have really fluffy, delicious rice, rinse all that stuff off first. When you're doing rice, you usually do double the amount of water to how many cups you're making rice, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes.
No. Okay. When it comes to a rice cooker, though, you can pretty much go a little less than that. It steams differently, I feel. But this is basmati rice, which is very forgiving. So if you add too much water, you can totally let it steam off. Hit that go button. Okay, so butternut squash is not the easiest thing to cut or to slice open. So make sure your knife is very sharp and that you're very, very careful. You want to take off that entire peel, and you see right there how if I didn't have a sharp knife, that would not be fun.
Like you will cut a finger off.
You will cut a finger off. Make sure when you're doing the bottom half, slice off the top part first, and then do the round bottom. I don't know if that makes sense, but you see what I'm saying.
Just do exactly what you're doing.
Just do exactly what I'm doing right there. And you want to throw away those things because we're not using those for anything else. Hi. You want to gut these things because you don't want to have the spaghetti strings and the seeds and that for when you're cooking, because it can make it really, I don't know.
Disgusting.
Just gross. I just
More
don't
seeds.
No, yeah. I mean, unless you want to toast them because they are like pumpkin seeds.
But there's also only like 5 of them in there.
Yeah,
so it wouldn't be worth it.
Like
just buy pre-toasted pumpkin seeds.
Yep, take out all that gook on the inside, and then what we're going to do is, well, I mean, throw those away because you're just not going to use them for anything.
I like your outfit.
So, thanks. My pajama kute. You're going to cut these into cubes. I usually do them in like a quarter inch cubes. You don't want them too small because then they'll just kind of deteriorate inside the soup. You want them to have like a good chunk while you're eating. Then you're going to do the sweet potato. Now, I would usually peel the sweet potato, but Ashlee here said not to.
Do not peel the sweet potato. I don't know. I like the outside on it.
The skin.
Yeah, the skin.
But it turned out absolutely fantastic. So
He looked at me like I was insane when I said that.
I was like, I always cut the skin off.
It was
yeah.
Like, what?
You keep the skin on. So you're going to cut those into quarter cubes as well. This is the easiest and fastest way to cut an onion, and you need to pay really special close attention to this. So you cut off the top and the bottom root part, peel it, and then you're going to cut each of the sides individually. Slice it like on its side first, and then when you chop it, it chops into like the perfect size of an onion, and it's super, super fast, so you don't ever have to deal with that crying thing.
Oh, you still cry.
All there is to know about the crying game.
You still cry.
A little bit. Now, time for that garlic. You want to use this whole entire bulb of garlic. You would think it's a lot, but it actually just gives a little bit of a flavor to it. It
wasn't overpowering.
Yeah, not at all. It wasn't overpowering at all, and it made it so much more delicious. You don't really need to. If you've watched any of the previous videos, you know how I chop garlic, so
just figure it out.
Just figure it out. But you want to mince it. This is one thing you do want to mince, because you do want this to pretty much deteriorate inside the soup itself.
You don't want to bite into like a piece of raw garlic.
No,
that's pretty gross.
That's kind of much. So you can use about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Turn that heat up to pretty high. I mean, you don't have to have it on super, super high, but pretty high, because this is a pretty fast moving dish. Throw those onions in, let them saute for a little bit. Shake the bowl or shake the pot so that it sautés. Pretty much gets the onions completely coated with the olive oil. Then you're going to add your garlic. The whole thing of garlic. Yum. Delicious. Give that a good shake. Notice how the onions are starting to get a little clear. That's when you know you're pretty much done cooking the onions. So you can add all the other, the sweet potato and the butternut squash. You can also add chickpeas to this. There's millions of variations you can make.
Any sort of squash, really.
Yeah, any kind of squash.
Regular potatoes.
Yeah, totally regular potatoes. Add a can of the coconut milk. Make sure it's coconut milk, not water, because you really want it to be like creamy. And then you're going to add about 2 cups of vegetable broth. Turn that puppy up and hit it high, because you want it to be boiling by the time you get the basil done. So cut your basil. By that point, it should be boiling. When it starts to boil, that's when you want to add your red curry paste. I'm pretty sure you can get this in Indian stores, or that one I think was Thai, but it's all curry. It's all from the same area. So add in your basil. Do a good pinch of salt and some pepper. Add a lot of pepper. I love pepper. Especially black pepper, because once again, black pepper dissipates, so you don't need to worry about adding too much. Give it a good stir. Put that lid on it and let it simmer. Forgot the chili flakes.
Those are important.
They're important. You can add as much as you want. I like spicy. I think that was a goodish amount. So once it starts boiling again, now you're going to let it simmer. So you want to put it on a low heat and put a lid on it. Once it simmers for about 10 to 15 minutes, you're done, basically. Give it another really good stir, and by that point your rice should be done as well. So this whole dish probably takes about 20 minutes to make from start to finish. By the time the rice cooker is done, you should already be done with the dish. Scoop that stuff over that basmati rice.
Yum.
So good. It's so quick. And it makes a lot, too. I took the rest for lunch the next day. And there it is with the basil topping. Delicious.
See? How easy was that? A curry dish in minutes.
And a quick, colorful eye that will put Bollywood glamour at your fingertips.
Join us next time on Grit for Glamour. If you have any other ideas, put it in the comment box and subscribe, please.
Please.
Cheers. Click.
What are we saying?
Hi, and welcome to this edition of, whoops, forgot the window. Shit. Buses love to go, public transit happens.
It's okay, we can do it.
Okay. Fuck, I can't get my breath in.
Unique New York, unique New York. How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow?
What the hell is that?
It's supposed to like get your mouth ready.
How now,